Hey, welcome in everybody. In this video I am going to try to recreate this rotor guard. So what this part does is it protects, like when you're trying to fly your drone or your quadcopter, you're going to run into walls and trees and stuff like that when you're learning how to fly. So this protects the blades from breaking or getting damaged. It also protects people from getting unexpected haircuts, in case you accidentally run it into somebody. So that's what these are. They're kind of like training wheels anyway. So without further ado, I'm going to start to create one of these from scratch. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to click on New. So I'm going to go to Metric, Standard Millimeters. I want to click on the Create button. I'm going to start a 2D sketch. I'm going to use this plane here. This is using my go-to plane. I don't think it really matters which one you pick, but I like this one. I seem to use that the most. I'm going to click on the left arrow to kind of rotate our view cube to the left, 90 degrees there. What I want to do now is I'm going to start with a circle center point. My circle center is going to be the green dot here, and then the diameter for this is going to be 26. And then I'm going to make another circle. This diameter is going to be 18. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from the center, kind of somewhere down here, just random. Click OK. I'm going to draw another line from the center, somewhere over here. Right click, hit OK. So what I want to do now is I want the angle of this line, I want it to be 30 degrees off the axis here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my origin there. I want to dimension from the z-axis. So I'm going to click on z-axis. I'm going to click this line here. And I want this to be 30 degrees. And then what I want to do is I want to dimension this line from the x-axis. So I'm going to click on x-axis here, click this line. I want that to be 30 degrees. Now I can right click, hit OK. And so I just kind of did that to set up the kind of circle part that I want. So I'm going to start to trim out some of these pieces I don't need. So I don't need that one. Here, here, here. I know it has all these lines going across. It gets kind of confusing. I don't need that piece. I don't need this or this. Right click, hit OK. So that's kind of what I need. I just need this part of this circle. I realize we're not constrained. I'm going to ignore that. We're going to finish our sketch. I'm going to extrude this. Make sure you get all three segments. So 1, 2, 3. I don't want that to be 10. So distance A, I want that to be 2. And also I've extruded it straight up this time instead of symmetrically. So I want that to be 2. And then click on enter, or OK, sorry, click on OK. So there's our first kind of piece of this rotor guard. So then what I want to do is I'm going to look for the YZ plane. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to turn on the visibility of it because I'm going to start a sketch on this plane. So what I want to do now is I want to go to Start 2D Sketch. I'm going to pick this plane. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is where I'm going to kind of draw this kind of the shape for the arm that it comes out, sticks way out here. So I want to, what do I want to do? I'm going to draw a line from this kind of bottom corner here. I'm going to draw it over to the right 65. Zoom out a little bit. Always go the wrong way. I'm gonna go straight up. That's gonna be, I believe that's gonna be 15 is what I need. Right click, hit OK. So then what I wanna do is 65, 15, yeah, I wanna fill it. And that's gonna be 5. So this line, click the X. I believe that's what I need. I'm gonna finish my sketch. So now I've just kind of created the path for what I'm gonna create a shape on top, extrude that, or we're gonna create a sweep to kind of create the, give it this thickness here. So what I wanna do now is I'm gonna go up to where you see plane. I'll select the image, the plane icon. I wanna click on this top line here. Click that first. Click the very top end piece dot thingy-majiggy of that line. So now that kind of gives me my work plane. So from here, I'm gonna start a 2D sketch on this plane. I think what I wanna do is I wanna project geometry. I wanna project that end dot here. So I'll have something to draw my shape with. So let me rotate this view cube 90 degrees to the left. Let me zoom in here. So I'm gonna draw like a little rectangle shape. That's gonna be my shape of my path here. So I'm gonna draw a 2-point rectangle. I'm gonna draw it over here kind of out of the way first. Which one did I pick? Yeah, 2-point. So I want this, the bottom dimension there, that's gonna be 4. Press the tab key. And the height, or the height of that, my little box is gonna be 2. Press the tab key, press enter. And then, so now I need to kind of move this over to where it's kind of lined up with this end dot that I projected. So I'm going to dimension. I'm going to look for the midpoint of that bottom line. And then I'm going to click on this little dot, drag this down. So I want this dimension to be 0. Hit the check mark. And then I want to dimension from the middle again, or just from this line actually, to this dot. And drag that kind of out of the way. I want that to be 0 as well. And so now it's in place. So make sure that this rectangle is at the bottom midpoint of that rectangle is on that dot that we projected, because now we can finish our sketch. I'll show you what that does. So we're going to sweep this kind of shape along this path. So I'm going to go to sweep. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to click on, oh, you know what? First of all, it's going to do that. Let me cancel this thing first. I already know what it's going to do. I'm going to go to my, let me right click here. I'm going to right click, go to find in browser. And that's going to be, so I'm going to right click sketch 2, edit sketch. I want to click on this line here and delete it. That's going to give me problems. I've already done that before. So I'm going to just delete that line. Now we can finish our sketch. Because if we were to sweep this shape, it would go way past where that line was that we just got rid of. So anyway, I'm going to hit sweep again. For our path, or for our profile, is going to be this rectangle, which is already selected. For path, I want to select this line here. Get this out of the way, and then hit OK. So now what I want to do is I'm going to right click, get rid of the visibility of these planes, just so it makes it easier to see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a circular pattern by clicking on circular pattern. My feature, let me move this out of the way, is going to be this kind of arm here. the rotation axis is going to be the y-axis. So over here in my origin tree, I'm going to click on the y-axis. Now we don't want 6 of those. I only want 3. And instead of 360, I'm going to change this to 90 degrees. And see, it's going the wrong way. So I'm going to, where it says rotation axis here, I'm going to click on these little arrows to flip them the other way. And then press OK. So we're kind of good right there, but if we zoom in, you'll notice that these arms don't connect all the way to our curve. So I found out the best way to kind of handle that is, let me try to rotate this a little bit. So what we want to do, right click, OK. I'm going to go up to where you see modify thicken offset and just kind of zoom in real close here. You want to select this kind of face here, and for a distance you really just need 0.25. Press OK, and it kind of extends it into that kind of curve, so we need to do that for all these. So again, I'm going to go to thicken offset, select this face, it's already at 0.25. Just kind of do that for all of these. Thicken offset. I need to click on this again. I need to go, wait, not that one. That's the wrong way. Yeah, don't do what I just did. I'm gonna go to thicken offset, click this face, hit OK. Zoom in again, thicken offset, click that face, distance is 0.25. Last one, thicken offset, click the face, 0.25. Bam. Alright, so there's that. So now that's looking kind of good, right? So now what we need to do is kind of put a bar on top, kind of that circular bar on top. So to do that, I'm going to go to Start 2D Sketch. I'm just going to select the top face of one of these kind of arms here like that. And then what I want to do is I am going to draw a circle. Center point. The center point is going to be this dot right here. And I'm just going to drag it out to where that circle kind of goes to the middle of this kind of shape that we have here. So that's what, about 140, 150, 100, I'm sorry, 154 maybe? 154. Press enter. I think that'll work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we don't need the full circle, so I'm going to cut off a little segment there. I'm going to go to line. My line's going to start at the center dot here. I'm going to drag it over here. Draw another line from the center dot over here. So I want this kind of circle part to go kind of past this arm on both sides by, I think, 10 degrees. So what we can do is I'm going to dimension from this line to here. That angle is going to be 10. And then do the same thing from this to this one. That's going to be 10. And then trim off this piece that we don't need. I'm going to trim off this excess here. I don't need this line. I don't need that line. I just need this kind of part of that circle there. So I'm going to finish my sketch. And now what I want to do is I'm going to create a plane, a work plane. Click on the plane icon. I'm going to click this arc. I'm going to click the very end of that arc. And now I can start my sketch on this plane that we just made. I'm going to project geometry just that very end of that. I think it's here, right? So then I can make a circle I'm gonna drag the circle out. I probably got it not centered there. Hold on one second. So I'm gonna do it from the side here. Let's do a circle. I wanna make sure I get in the right spot. Circle, center point from here. And that's gonna be about 4. I'm trying to think if that's good enough, or should we do it bigger? Let's try 4, okay. And then what I'm gonna do is finish my sketch. I'm gonna again sweep this. So my profile is gonna be the circle. The path is gonna be our little half circle there. Not half circle, but little arc. I'm going to hit OK. Make sure it's, yeah, that looks pretty good. Look at it from the top. I think we got it pretty good there. Okay, so the ends here, first of all, let me get rid of this work plane. So I'm gonna right click on the work plane, turn off the visibility. I can fillet these kind of end circly thingy majiggies. Go up to fillet. It's on 2 millimeters, so I can just click the end circle. Click that end circle. Hit OK. So that's our nice little rotor protector. Now we can add a texture if you want. I think on that other one I did like a blue wall paint glossy. So it looks kind of something like that. Yeah, so I'm kind of like that. All right, so that piece was probably one of the most challenging pieces to create. I wanted to kind of go slow to kind of get that, hopefully without too much crazy confusion, but there we go. So I'm gonna save this file, save it. I have about 3 of these already made because I was practicing. I'm gonna call it Rotor Guard. I'm gonna call this Rotor Guard 3. Hit save. All right, we got that one out of the way. So I hope to come back for the next part to our quadcopter, and I hope to see you then. All right, peace out.